traditional values are going to be traditionally tragic. You see, there's a push right now for traditional family values in this country, a certain lifestyle that needs to be maintained and operated and is the ideal according to certain people in here. But what are traditions that are more than just subjective matter of how to live and lifestyle? We have different traditions on how we treat our elderly. Do we put them in nursing homes? Do we incorporate them in our lives to learn and grow from them? Or do we just put them out there because that's too much of a traumatic relationship? Can be justified anyway, but it's subjective to the individual and the lifestyles and the relationships that are there. We have people pushing for traditional lifestyles and that this is what it looks like, the 1950s. But why stop at the 1950s? Why don't we go back and go to the Amish communities? They seem to be pretty traditional in what they operate. So let's get rid of all of our electronics, all our electricity, all our modern conveniences that we have. Pick up the tills and have the ox pull us through the fields and raise some barns with everyone else. Don't think a lot of people want to go to that. But we can even go back to farther in time to ancient cultures and where women were quite productive in their communities. They'd be in hunting parties and out doing what we would consider traditionally man work today and successfully doing it and given to their communities as equally as anyone else in their community. Actually, the hunting parties were usually more successful than the men going out and hunt because they knew how to work together as a team instead of as an individual in a competition. And we want to ignore all these other things and say, this is the family tradition we want. Wife, stay at home, raise the children, first of all, have babies, raise the children, cook, clean, take care of the husband. Be that new mommy figure for their little hubby because he can't take care of himself at all. And the husband's job, go out and work. Okay, you can take care of the outside stuff at home, but honestly, if you live where I live, that's 6 months a year as the grass is growing. And in the winter, everything kind of takes care of itself with just being dormant and out of season. And even with the mowing of the grass, once my kids become physically dexterous enough to pull start a mower, I can turn that over to them, so all I have to worry about is working anymore. So why is this the focus on what we want to get back to? This putting the women in this dress with the pearl necklace and the whole June Cleaver look and taking care of everything and make sure the kids are all sparkly clean when daddy gets home so he doesn't have anything to worry about and can just sit down and drink his beer and read his paper and put his feet up and relax at the end of the night because the king is home. Why is this that? It's simply because it's a patriarchy that's been passed on from generation to generation that's been learned that this is the best way to control and manipulate and operate because it idealizes and maximizes the power for the man in the relationship. It pulls everything up to him and everything revolves around him and his little world. It's his little fiefdom that he's operating here and everyone should bow down and kneel to him and worship him as the king that he is. But the thing is this system is flawed, fatally flawed, if you ask me, because you eliminate any competition and you eliminate half of the participation and potential that could happen in our world. When you start subjecting people and putting them in these roles, it eliminates what they can do and how they can participate and add to the dynamic of everything going on. And the other thing it does is that it eliminates the individuality of people. You see, I could go eat a bowl of ice cream right now and be fine and have no issues with it. Some of you out there listening could eat the same bowl of ice cream and they're going to wreak havoc on your toilet in 30 minutes afterwards because we're built different. And that's how we are. We're unique. We're individual. No two things are going to work the same. And when we try to force everyone into one system, it shows how myopic that thinking is because it eliminates the individuality of the person. Maybe there is a woman that enjoys cooking and cleaning, and that's what she really wants to do. Perfect for her. Let her do it. That's fine if that's what she really chooses to do and wants to do. But if she wants to do something else, let her do that too, because that's potential that she can have in this world and increase and put out to us. And if a man wants to stay home and cook and clean and take care of as his wife's out working, let him. That's perfectly okay also, because maybe that's what he's best suited for and that's where he's going to operate in his best place, and that's his individualistic abilities. But when we start to cram people into things that they're not fit into, they're not going to operate anywhere near the maximum efficiency that they can, and they're not going to be able to have any potential to increase what's going out here in the world and increasing our progress into the world. This traditional lifestyle and forcing people into things is old. It's outdated. It's archaic way of thinking. once we can open our minds and allow people to fit into roles that they allow and just allow that to happen in our world and understand this is what's best for this individual. And as long as we can not have to worry about policing everyone and keeping everyone in the same box and let people be individuals, which is the toughest thing for people to understand because it doesn't look like me, so I don't like it. If we can get over that in ourselves and let people operate in the way that they need to operate, we could progress as everything else because we'll be using everyone at their maximum efficiency, at their maximum potential on what they can contribute to our society and our world. But when we start cramming people into things, we eliminate that, and we eliminate people being able to do what they're called to do in this world.